All right, guys. Today we are going to dive into the Scheda Ministeriale quiz, which is specific to those of you who are preparing to write the exam. So please, I will encourage you to watch it till the end to know how many you are going to get at the end of the quiz. If you fail more than three, then I will encourage you to rewatch the video for the second time so that the questions will still in your brain. Okay? And also, please do not forget to give us a thumbs up. I want to appreciate those of you who have been watching my videos, but please, I will also encourage you to give us a thumbs up and leave us a comment. Whether good or bad, your comments are highly welcome on this channel. Okay? And also, please do not forget to put on your YouTube notification so that whenever we drop a video, you will be the first to see our videos on this channel. Okay? All right, so let's proceed. The number one is said, il segnale raffigurato preannuncia un incrocio di quattro strade. The number one is falso, not vero, okay? Because he said the sign shown you are seeing here, which is the Croce di Sant'Andrea panel you are seeing here, announce a crossroad of four road. It is falso, okay? Because the Croce di Sant'Andrea panel you are seeing here indicate that the railway crossing that you are crossing has only one track. I repeat, the Croce di Sant'Andrea panel you are seeing here indicate that the railway has only one track. So the number one is falso, not vero, okay? If he said il segnale raffigurato indica che la sede ferroviaria ha un solo binario, then the answer would have been vero. But as it is, the number one is falso, not vero. Okay? So let's move to number two. If you can learn in this manner, then I guarantee you can learn in this class. The number two is said, il segnale raffigurato consente la circolazione del traffico locale in entrambi i sensi. The number two is falso, not vero, okay? Because he said the sign shown you are seeing here, which is the senza vietato panel you are seeing here, allows local traffic to flow in both directions. No, it is falso, okay? Because the sign shown you are seeing here prohibits entry a road that is accessible from the other side. Not just that, vehicles without an engine also must respect the prohibition imposed by the sign represented on this road. So the number two is falso, not vero. Okay? If he said, let's say for example, the question said, il segnale raffigurato vieta di entrare di una strada accessibile invece dell'altra parte, then the answer would have been vero, not falso. But as it is, the number two is falso, not vero, because The sign shown you are seeing here does not allow local traffic to flow in both directions. No. So let's move to number three. The number three is that il segnale raffigurato viene posto su strada secondaria che non gode del diritto di precedenza. The number three is falso, not vero. I repeat, il segnale raffigurato viene posto su strada secondaria che non gode del diritto di precedenza. No, it is falso, not vero, because he said the sign showing you are seeing here is usually placed on a secondary road that does not have the right of way. It is falso because the confluencer and destra panel you are seeing here, if you are being faced, you are the one that has the right of way over vehicles that are coming from the acceleration lane, which is from the right. So the number three is falso, not vero. Okay? Let's say, for example, if he said, il segnale raffigurato preannuncia una immissione da destra con corsia di accelerazione, then the answer would have been vero, not falso. Okay? But as it is, the number three is falso, not vero. Okay? So let's move to number four. The number four is said, dovendo attraversare l'incrocio rappresentato in figura, qualunque veicolo può impegnare l'incrocio e fermarsi al centro di esso. The number four is falso, not vero. I repeat, dovendo attraversare l'incrocio rappresentato in figura, qualunque veicolo può impegnare l'incrocio e fermarsi al centro di esso. No, it is falso, not vero. According to what the question is saying, is that having to cross the intersection shown in the figure you are seeing here, any vehicle, he used the word qualunque, meaning any vehicle can enter the intersection and stop in the center of it. So it is falso, okay? Because at the intersection shown in the figure you are seeing here, vehicle must pass in the following order, which is the C, which happens to be the blue vehicle, is the first vehicle to leave the intersection. As soon as the blue vehicle is gone, the second vehicle to leave this intersection is the A, which is the red vehicle. After the red vehicle is gone, the third vehicle to leave the intersection is the black vehicle, which is the L. While the fourth vehicle to leave this intersection is the red vehicle, which is the auto carry. The green vehicle, which is the verde, the E, is the last vehicle to leave the intersection. So it is not possible for any vehicle to enter the intersection and stop in the center of it. That's false. I just told you the first vehicle to leave the intersection and the last vehicle to leave the intersection. That's it. So the number four is falso, not vero, okay? So let's move to number five. The number five is said, Nei centri abitati il conducente non deve lasciare in sosta un rimorchio staccato dalla motrice, salvo diversa segnalazione. Oh yes, it is. The number five is vero, not falso. Okay? Because he said, in built up areas, which is centri abitati, the driver must not leave a trailer parked, detached, which is staccato, from the tractor unless, which is salvo diversa segnalazione, unless otherwise indicated. Oh, yes, it is. Let's say, for example, in built up areas, just like what I said in centri abitati, you are not allowed to leave a trailer parked by itself after you have detached it from the tractor or the towing vehicle, unless, I repeat, unless there is a sign or a local regulation that specifically allows it. So, in other words, you must not disconnect the trailer and leave it parked alone on the street in a built up areas, which is centri abitati. So, the number five is vero, not falso. Okay. So let's move to number six. The number six is said, è opportuno che il conducente di un veicolo quando un centro abitato si imbatte in coto non faccia inversioni di marcia qualora ciò costituisca intralcio alla circolazione. Oh yes it is. The number six is vero, not falso. I repeat, è opportuno che il conducente di un veicolo quando in centro abitato si imbatte in un coto non faccia inversioni di marcia qualora ciò costituisca intralcio alla circolazione. Oh yes it is. Number six is vero, not falso, because he said it is advisable that the driver of a vehicle, when he comes or when he or she comes across a procession in a built up areas, does not revise if the construction, if it will constitute an obstacles to traffic on the road. What the question is talking about is that, let's say, for example, you are driving in built up areas, which is centri abitati, and you meet a protest. Let me use protest as an example. You meet a huge crowd who were walking on the road. What the question is telling you that it is advisable that you do not make a U-turn if you know that it will cause obstacles or traffic on the road. So the best thing is just to exercise patience. As soon as they walk out of the road, then you proceed to where you are going. If possible, you can even just, leave the carriageway and park, elsewhere and wait for the crowd to leave the road first. But if you intend to want to revise, but you must make sure that the revise that you are about to do does not constitute an obstacle to traffic at that moment. That is exactly what the question is talking about. So the number six is vero, not falso. Okay, so let's move to number seven. The number seven is said, la sospensione della patente è disposta quando si lascia il veicolo in sosta negli spazi destinati ai disabili. The number seven is falso, not vero. I repeat, la sospensione della patente è disposta quando si lascia il veicolo in sosta negli spazi destinati ai disabili. No, it is falso, not vero. Because what the question is telling you is that the suspension of the driving license is ordered when the vehicle is left parked in spaces designated, which is destinati for disabled people. It is falso, not vero. Okay, your driving license will not be suspended just because you parked in a reserve space designated for disabled people. No, it is false. Okay, if you parked your vehicle in a disabled parking space without a valid permit, you will receive a fine, which is multa, or probably your vehicle may be towed away. And not just that, you may also get a penalty point on your driving license. Okay, the word sospensione is suspension of the driving license. Usually happens only for more serious violation crimes on the road, not just because you park, at a spot or at a space designated for disabled people. So the number seven is falso, not vero. Okay, so let's move to number eight. The number eight is said, il conducente può non tenere conto del comportamento degli altri utenti della strada se questi ultimi non rispettano le regole del codice della strada. The number eight is falso, not vero. I repeat, il conducente può non tenere conto del comportamento degli altri utenti della strada se questi ultimi non rispettano le regole del codice della strada. The number eight is falso, not vero, because he said the driver may not take into an account the behavior of other road users if they do not respect the rules of the highway code. It is falso. Okay? Even, I repeat, even if other drivers or pedestrians are behaving, let's say they are behaving incorrectly on the road, you as a driver, you must still drive safely and consider their behavior or their actions. So this is one of the main reason why you must always drive with caution and responsibility on the road. You must learn to anticipate mistakes of others while you are driving on the road to avoid accident, even if someone else is breaking the rules for your own protection. So the number eight is falso, not vero. Okay, so let's move to number nine. The number 9 is said, le airbag si gonfia in pochi secondi. The number 9 is falso, not vero, because it said the airbag inflates in second. No, it is falso. Okay? The airbag does not inflate in second, but rather the airbag inflates in a matter of millisecond. I repeat, the airbag inflates in a matter of millisecond. So the number 9 is falso, not vero. Okay? Let's say, for example, if the question would have le airbag si gonfia in pochi millisecondi, then the answer would have been vero, not falso. I repeat, if it said le airbag si gonfia in pochi millisecondi, the answer would have been vero. But as it is, the answer is falso, not vero, okay? All right, so let's move to number 10. The number 10 is said, è sempre consentito superare un veicolo a due ruote. The number 10 is falso, not vero, okay? Because he said it is always permitted to overtake a two-wheel vehicle, which is bicycle or motorcycle. It is falso, not vero, okay? Because it is not always, I repeat, it is not always permitted for you to overtake a two-wheel vehicle, which are such as bicycles or motorcycle. No, it is false. You can only, I repeat, you can only overtake these categories when it is safe and allowed by road rules. For example, there is enough space on the road, or also there is a good visibility that overtaking these categories, let's say motorcycles or bicycle, will not cause an accident. That is only when it is permitted to overtake a two-wheel vehicle all the time. Okay? So the number 10 is falso, not vero. Whatever you don't understand, please do not hesitate to let me know regarding this question, okay? All right, so for those of you who will be coming across this video, if you want to join the private class, if you want to watch the full Scheda Ministeriale, then join our private class, okay? We have so many Scheda Ministeriale that guarantees you that after going through all, there is every possibility that you will pass the exam, okay? If you are ready to learn in this manner, trust me, then you are on the right track, okay? All right, so I look forward to see you some other time. Ciao.